Hi everyone, and welcome back to another Hatch live stream coming to you from the Wilcom offices here in Sydney, Australia. Today is our back to school special, and just like myself, who was always super keen to get back to school, we've already got some people in the chat. So I want to say an early hello and thank you to turning up for Susan, Nerily, Amanda, Terry, Gigi, Becky, Elise, and Karen. I'm sure there are more coming in all the time. I can see how quickly the chat is moving. Thank you so much for coming along. It is a great pleasure to have you all here again. And just like any time of back to school, we have a jam-packed schedule of things to look at, learn, and get today. So we're going to be really full today with lots of different things. So I'm really glad you can all join us from all around the world. We've got people coming in from the Netherlands. I know it must be very late for you there, Terry. We've got people coming in from Florida and Illinois and Canada. So lots of different people. And today on Mods, we have Richard in YouTube, and Bernadette is taking care of Facebook. So if you're in either of those, be sure to say hi to the mods. They help me out tons by doing all of the things that I can't do while I am live. So thanks to the mods, and they can help you out if you have any additional technical questions. They will get you through there as well. All right, we've got some more people coming in. It's super full. We've got some extra people coming in from Sydney as well. I hope you're enjoying our very changeable weather here in Sydney. Sydney can't decide whether it is going to be winter or autumn or spring or summer at the moment. It seems to be combinations of all of them every day. For those of you who've been suffering the heat wave in the UK or very hot temperatures through the middle of America, through the USA, I really hope that it is cooled down a little bit and it's a little bit more bearable for you all, because I know last time a lot of you were melting quite a lot. So it's good that you're all here with us today. Like I said, today is our back to school special. For anyone who is looking to maybe purchase Hatch for the first time or get some extra fonts, there's lots of specials available for you. So anytime you are looking for extra specials, one of the best things to do is to log into the Hatch website, and it's going to show you the prices in your currency, which is often a lot easier for you to convert and figure out and do all of those types of very technical things we need to do. So be sure to log into the Hatch website and take a look at all of the pricing and specials that are available there for you. So there's lots of things that you can take advantage of in the sale. Big sales savings for those of you who are brand new to Hatch as well. So if you are coming to us and you're just trying to check it out, you're not quite sure, don't forget there is a free 30-day trial that you can do. So you can download the trial today, jump on over the weekend, make yourself familiar with the software, maybe do some academy classes and still take advantage of the sale as well. So be sure that you do take a look at all of those things as well. All right. So we've got lots of people in the chat. Again, it's really busy today. I'm glad that you're all here. One of the things we have for you today, well, actually, we've got a few things. I'll do a little bit of a rundown on what we're going to go through today. We have another great video from our documentation team. Ben and I have been working hard at doing some really great explaining videos for you that take you through some of the more technical parts of the software that you maybe don't know or haven't sort of touched on a little bit. So we have another great video from them today. We also have a wonderful video from our Chief Product Officer of Wilcom, our Chief Product Officer here at Wilcom, Brendan Prasner. Brendan's dropping in with a little video to show us if you've been having any problems logging in. And he's done a really great explanation of why that is happening and how you can fix it. So we're going to play that one as well. We have some free key fobs. I know you all love a nice key fob, so we've got some more of those. And later on, I'll be taking you through how to use some of the features of Hatch 4 to create a really simple but effective patch. So lots on today as well. If you've got any questions additional to those or as we're going through things, be sure to jump in and add them to the chat as well. All right. Okay, it looks like everyone's got in. We've got some people in from Queensland as well and from Tasmania. Well, as we have someone from Tasmania, let's jump in to our free key fob of the month. Our free key fob is delightfully inspired by Neil the Seal. For those of you who are overseas who may have missed the news, Neil the seal is a rather adorable seal who visits the town inside Tasmania, which is, for those of you who are not familiar with our geography here in Australia, is the little triangle bit down the bottom. It's lovely, filled with beautiful landscapes and wildlife. But Neil, he loves a traffic cone. So he's often on the news and he'll crawl up into traffic and just hang out with his buddy, the traffic cone. So we have done our key fobs of the month, done inspired by Neil the seal. So isn't Neil and his little traffic cone just so cute? If you saw the videos when we put them out towards the end of last week and you tried to download it and maybe you're not on Hatch 4, I have just uploaded a Hatch 4 version and a Hatch 3 version for you there. So apologies that it wasn't there earlier. That was my mistake. I'd taken it into, opened it up, fixed something on it, and then resaved it and then forgot to save it available for Hatch 3 people as well. So there are now two versions if you go to the 3D in the Hoop key fob course inside the Academy. And you'll find as you scroll down in that course, down the bottom, there's free from live stream sort of section. In there is all of the ones that we have given away throughout the year. So you'll find a whole collection there as well. And a few people are saying thanks for the story about Neil because they hadn't seen it. If you're a fan of wildlife just being adorably cute, just Google Neil the seal from Tasmania and he definitely turns up and it's really fun. He always turns up on the news here whenever he pops up. I think it must be like every couple of months just where he's going for a swim and he'll pop out and say hi to his buddy, the traffic cone. So that's always lots of fun to see Neil coming up. So we've got our free key fobs, and then we also have our video from the production team, the product team who have been doing lots of great videos for us. This one today is all about different stitch types. So let's take a look.
Embroidery designs are made up of objects of different shapes and sizes. One of the first decisions a digitizer makes is how each one should be stitched. Why aren't they all stitched the same way? Because different stitch types are designed for different jobs. Outline stitches follow a path instead of filling an area. They're used for outlines and fine details. Run stitch creates a simple line of stitching. Triple run retraces the same path to produce a bolder, more visible line. But outlines don't have to be simple. Backstitch, stem stitch, blanket, zigzag, sculpture and motif outlines can all add texture, emphasis and character. Satin stitches are formed from long stitches laid across a shape, producing the smooth, glossy finish most people associate with embroidery. Satin is ideal for thicker outlines and borders, and is widely used for lettering. Variations such as raised satin and calligraphic satin add even more character. Satin can also fill smaller shapes where its long parallel stitches create a smooth, lustrous finish. As satin areas become wider, the software can automatically manage stitches that become too long, either splitting them or jumping across the shape. With turning satin, stitch direction changes within the shape, allowing the stitches to follow natural curves. As shapes become larger, long satin stitches become impractical. Tatami uses shorter rows of stitches to fill larger areas efficiently. Different needle patterns and stitch densities let you vary the appearance, coverage, and stitch count of a tatami fill. For more information about stitch types and their settings, refer to the latest product help or press F1 for context-sensitive help. Thanks for watching.
So that was a really great informative video about the different types of stitch types you can find with inside of Hatch. And obviously there are so many variations with inside of those as well. You can go into many kinds of embossed fills. You can change the types of tatamis. You can change your run stitches to be motif stitches. And it's one of those things that as you start to grow as a digitizer and you want to experiment in different ways and grow how you interpret a design, so it's not just a flat interpretation, it's really useful to know where those things are and that the capabilities are all there. And you don't have to use all of them all of the time, but it is one of those things that the more you know, the more you can use and the better you get at things. So videos like this, which we get from our documentation team, are fantastic because they remind us that things are there. You'll be able to find that video on YouTube as well as inside of the Hatch Academy as well. So for those of you who haven't gone to the Academy yet, be sure to jump in and have a look. It comes free with your Hatch software. If you're on the trial, you get access to a portion of the Academy. And then once you are in to and have the software, you then have access to all of it as well. So there's tons of information in there. There's lots of projects. If anyone's moving past back to school already and moving straight to Halloween, there's a whole bunch of Halloween things in there. There's Christmas. There's all the different kinds of events, but there's also just lots of tools and courses which will teach you how to use Hatch better and improve your workflow and do all those kinds of things. So definitely take a look. We try and create it so that it is as useful as possible to you as well. So if there's ever anything that's not there, let us know, and we're going to make our best efforts to make sure it gets in there as well. In the chat, we've got some extra people joining us. We've got Ginger and we've got Cheryl. I noticed Beth popped up, but the chat moved on. So hi to you all for dropping in. We've still got Nerily still with us. And Margaret saying that Neil was the highlight of her day, being able to look up his adventures. And I think we all feel about like that. When you see a cute animal, it's always super fun to like follow what they're up to when they're interacting with things in an odd way, because it does pop up on our news feeds every so often as well. So Beth's saying the videos that the product team have been doing were really appreciated because she's been having the login issue, and that video really saved her having to go back to the help area and search for more instructions. So there is a little bit of an issue with some people logging in sometimes, and there's sort of two main issues which people are coming in. One, you try and log in and it tells you that your user session cannot be working. And another one is that when you try and log in, you just have a white screen and a spinning wheel. So we're going to play the video which Chief Product Officer Brendan Prasner from Wilcom made for us so that you can have a little bit of an insight about how that is happening and why, and also how to fix it.
When you open up and log into your Hatch embroidery software, do you sometimes see this white screen or get this user session error? Hi, I'm Brendan from Wilcom, and I'd like to have a frank discussion with you about these two issues that you may have seen or experienced in your Hatch embroidery software. But let's start with what is the cause of those errors. Now, when you log into your Hatch embroidery software, that login screen is basically a mini web page. It's a web app that loads and lets you log into your Hatch embroidery software. It makes sure that your license is valid and that all the features that you've paid for are turned on your software. Now, like all web pages, we deploy a whole bunch of different technology to get that to work, like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. The JavaScript framework we use is very common, but in Hatch 3 and earlier versions of Hatch 4, the version we use has one slight limitation. It has a tendency to cache itself on your local computer. So when we make a change to the login app and deploy new features for you to enjoy in your Hatch software, your local computer has cached an old version of that login screen. So when you open Hatch, it looks for what it expects to be the new login screen, can't find it, and that's when one of those two issues can occur. Now, if you do have Hatch 4, you should go straight to our website at hatchembroidery.com/download and download the latest version of Hatch 4 to make sure you get that latest login screen. But even if you've done that, you still might get that problem because you may still be caching the local version of that older Hatch login screen. So how do we resolve that? We're going to walk you through that process right now. First of all, close your Hatch embroidery software. Then open up Windows Explorer. You want to browse through to your C drive, then locate Program Data. Then scroll down and find the Wilcom folder. Then go into Hatch Embroidery. Now, if you're running Hatch Embroidery 3, go into the 3 folder. But if you're running Hatch Embroidery 4, go into Hatch Embroidery 4. Once you're in the folder for your version, you want to locate this folder here called CEF. This is what caches that local browser login page on your computer. You want to select all those files in that folder and just press delete and delete them from your CEF folder. When you open up Hatch, it won't have the local cached version, so it will download the latest version from our server to make sure that your local Hatch is completely updated with what it's expecting to find on our servers. So that's how you fix the problem. So it is an issue for some, and it will go away when you update your cached local login screen. You might also notice that some people say they don't have that problem. Again, because they've maybe made that change or they've downloaded that latest login screen so it's compatible with their current version of Hatch. It's a pain, I know, and we're really sorry, but it can be fixed if you delete that folder. Of course, if you need more help, reach out to our team at help.hatchembroidery.com. Thanks for your time.
So that was a really helpful video that sort of explains why you're getting those login issues, how to fix it, and then if you're having any other problems, where to go to actually find the solutions to all of those things. The help desk is available all of the time for you, and you can also self-serve yourself a lot as well. So if you go to the Hatch website, you can go to the drop down for help and support, and inside there is the knowledge base. So if you ever get like a weird error message or something's happening, you can actually type it directly into there. My apologies. And then you will actually be able to find all of your answers in there as well. And it's a really great way if you're trying to just like keep on rolling and keep things going and you don't want to have to go somewhere else or put in a ticket. Sometimes the answer is right there at your fingertips. You just got to go find it. So hopefully all of that is very helpful for you in terms of getting you going and getting you moving as well. All right. For those of you who have joined us a little later, just always be remembered, we are in the middle of our back to school sale. So you can take advantage of any of the sale prices. There are sale prices across many products, not just Digitizer, and also lots of fonts if anyone's looking for fonts as well. All right, I also just took a quick sip of water to try and stop myself from coughing, so fingers crossed that works for us as well. So lots of people in the chat today. If you've got any questions, be sure to ask them. And as I said, if you're looking for pricing for the sale for yourself, be sure to log in because then it's going to show up for you in your currency. It makes it a lot easier for you to figure it out because obviously with conversions and things, it gets a little bit tricky as well. Elise is saying the video was very helpful and she had to open up some of the hidden files as well to get it all fixed. So there's lots of things happening there, but it's really great that there is a fix for it. And fingers crossed that it all sort of slides through for you once you know how to do the fix. So that's really good. You're not going to get stuck anywhere. Now, we had some really great artwork done by Matt, our graphic designer, for all of our back to school things. And he did a really fantastic apple design. I'm not sure, Elsie, is it on? Oh, he's just got the regular apple. On some of the ones, you'll actually see a little embroidered apple that he created. And I was like, hey, that's really fun. Let's show people how to create that as a patch. So I have filmed this entirely in Hatch 4, and I am using things which are exclusive to Hatch 4. Mostly because I wanted to show you a couple of tools like the knife tool, which is not exclusive to Hatch 4, but it was one of those things that made it a great demonstration for you as well. So some people, I think Susan started it from this from Chicago. They're saying that they've got Jimothy in the States as their kind of like a creature who's been making the news as well. I have seen him pop up a few things, And our good friends over at Embroidery Library and Urban Threads had a really wonderful Our Staff Draws Jimothy, which was really great because it was everything from like a blob with little stick legs to like really detailed drawings from some of their artists. So that was tons of fun to watch that as well. But if you've got a Jimothy, drop it into the chat or add it to our Facebook user group. We would love to see it. It's always great to see people's interpretations of animals. It's lots of fun. All right, let's jump in and open up our hatch and have a little bit of a look at what we are going to do with some digitizing. Okay, so we've opened up our hatch here. And I'm going straight to all of the great new outlines, which are available inside of Hatch 4. There's a huge new library of them, and I'm looking for a cute little apple. So I'm just going to select this apple. These are already digitized as an outline, and they're really useful for creating lots of different things very quickly. Now, because of what I want to do, I am duplicating my apple. And so that you can see this, I'm going to bring up my sequence docker. So now you can see I have two apples and they are sitting one directly on top of each other. I'm locking my bottom one in position by using the shortcut key of a K, and I've turned my top one to blue so you can see, and I'm zooming in. I'm going to come across to Edit Objects, and I'm going to pick up my knife tool. What I'm going to do is I'm going to separate my stem from my apple. So you must select the object, and then click and click again, and you can see it has created a cut. Going back to my knife again, making sure my object is selected, and I am cutting again. Once I finish this cut, you've seen I've now separated it into two separate pieces. These pieces, though, are only outlines, and I want to create them as a fill. So I'm going to select my stem first. I'm going to click. And you can see where it says join path, and you can either do it by a straight line. That one looks pretty good, so I'm going to go with that. Then on the apple, because it's a bit rounded, I might try the circle, join with a curve. Oh, that looks ugly. Let's undo and go back. And now we're going to join with a straight line. That looks much better. So now we have two separate objects from the one object from using the knife tool. Just going to do some fills. So now that they are completely enclosed objects, we can add some fills. And let's zoom out so you can see a little bit better what I'm up to. So, and we'll turn our apple to a more apple color because that's just a bit more fun. So now I have two separate objects. They are two different colors and they are filled. I want to do something a little bit more interesting than a tatami fill. So I'm going to go with a ripple. And this is nice, but it's a little bit dense. I want it a little bit more open. So I'm going to adjust the spacing settings of my ripple fill. So it's at 2, I'm going to go to 4. And you can see it starts to open it up and it's a lot more spacious looking in there, and it just will allow the machine to run a little faster as well. Now my apple I'm actually going to do is a satin stitch. And with your satin stitch, make sure that your auto split is ticked on. Just going to turn on True View by hitting T so you can see that. And you can see that the auto split has split up the apple. So it is nice and shiny, but it indicated well there as well. You could also use an embossed fill for that as well. I'm now unlocking my base apple and I'm going to go down to create layouts. When I get to offsets and outlines, I'm not going to have an outline, but I am going to have an offset, and I'm setting my offset at 5 mil. And down the bottom, I haven't ticked the sign that says include holes because I just want the outline. I don't want any middle. I've got a nice little outline now, and it's a lovely little satin stitch. I think I might kind of alter it a little bit because I want to make this into a patch. So if I'm going to do it as a patch, I can actually go to Applique and go to Convert to Applique, and it is split it up to actually be an applique for me. And I'm going to double check my settings. So here you'll have your placement stitch, your tack down stitches, and your cover stitches. Your cover stitch as the satin stitch, I'm going to make it a little wider just because I like a little bit of a chunky one when I do a patch. I just like it visually. It's a good look for me. And I'm just going to double check all of my other pieces as well. And now I don't need my original apple, so I can delete it. You wouldn't have to, it would just mean an extra line, but I like to keep my files as clean as possible. And I'm going to write myself some notes into the information bar. So I'm adding in a description of what it is. I'm taking off Lindy's wonderful work and then putting on my own name. And now I'm going to write my instructions on how I would actually stitch it out. So I normally give myself instructions on what I'm going to hoop up with and maybe the order of assembly on how I'm actually going to do it. And these are just sort of first thoughts. I might actually change them, but what it gives me is an idea of what I was thinking as I am creating. Because quite often I'll sit down and I'll digitize maybe at night time after work, and then I'll leave it till the weekend to actually stitch out my pieces. So sometimes, things get busy, you forget. So I like having some little quick notes for myself, and I like to put it inside the file because then I don't have to match up my 9 million notebooks to whatever I was actually trying to stitch out. So I've got my notes, I've got how it is all looking. And then, as I always do, I'm going to play the stitch player. So we've got our outlines, our tack downs. Obviously, you would place a fabric in between here, and we do our outline. I was actually speaking to our head digitizer, and Mai actually had a really fantastic suggestion. And she said she would actually not do the satin stitch cover until last. She'd break apart the applique and put the satin stitch last, because that way, if any of the stitching of the actual apple moved as it's stitching out or created a pucker or anything like that, it would actually save you by doing that satin stitch last, because it would actually hold it down again. So I thought that was a really good way of thinking about it. And I wanted to mention it because I liked the way that she thought about it, that she's like, oh, you could do all your tack downs, stitch the center. That way, if the fabric buckles or moves in any way, then when you go around the outside, you'd actually re-smooth it back out. So I thought that was a really good workflow that you might want to include in that as well. If anyone wants to learn more about digitizing, inside the Hatch Academy, there are tons of classes, but I would always start with the How to Digitize course. It's really fantastic and it will step you through things very, very well. If you just want to go straight to patches, we also have courses just on how to create a patch as well. So there's lots of different ways that you can learn inside of the Academy, and you can tailor it to your own needs as well. Okay, unless anyone had any questions, I think we are getting close to the end of our back to school special. Like I said, it was jam-packed with information this week, just like getting back to school feels like. So I'm very glad that you could join us all. We will have more live streams coming up, and keep an eye out. We have so many more videos and courses and information coming at you. There's going to be jam-packed schedules all the way along. Okay, I think that's everything for today. A very fast kind of moving one today. I hope you got lots out of it. If you have any questions, or you want to follow up, or you want to share maybe your own Jimothy, or maybe even your own inspired by Neil the Seal designs, don't forget to join our Facebook user group. It's available for you 24/7, and the mods there are always trying to do their best to keep it really engaging and get all of the information that you need to do that as well. So someone's asking if I am related to Kim Goodwin. So there are two Goodwins here at Wilcom. So one is myself. So my name is Susan Goodwin, and there is Kim Goodwin. Kim Goodwin is, actually don't even know Kim's actual title, which is very embarrassing to admit live on camera. But Kim actually heads up so much of what you see at Hatch. Unfortunately, we are not related, but we do work with each other every day despite being in different countries. So no, not related. Okay, I think there's a few more questions in the chat. So Ginger was saying it's a great suggestion for the apple. And the good thing about that, if you do have Hatch 4, you have such a huge array of all of those different designs in there as well, that you could make patches out of anything just by using the designs that are already built into your Hatch 4 as well. So that's super great as well. I can see that the chat for work is popping up for me to actually tell me what Kim's work So the actual one is. So I'm going to, hopefully that actually comes through on me really quickly. But yes, Kim is definitely a huge part of Hatch and making sure that the academy runs. She is a super powerhouse. So she's always around about nuts. Okay. Thank you so much for everyone for joining us. We'll see you again at another live stream. If you are sending everyone back to school, I hope it all goes smoothly, and I hope your people you're sending back to school are as much of a bookworm and wishing to learn like I still am to this very day. All right. Thanks so much, everyone. Have a great week.